First of all, I would give you my name, but names are not important right now, are they? Anyway, about a month ago, I was browsing some Minecraft vids on YouTube when I saw a video called This is Terraria. I decided to take a look at it, and what I saw was simply amazing. Since I liked what I saw, I searched up Terraria using Google. I found out that you can buy it from Steam for $9.99. I was too lazy to buy it at the time, so I downloaded a pirated version from a random torrent site. One thing that seemed a little odd while I was downloading the torrent, my PC kept freezing on me. I checked my hard drive, and it had 92.8 gigabytes free, so I assumed my computer was just acting a little buggy that evening. Once the torrent was finished downloading, my computer went berserk. The screen was literally melting, and then started flashing random colors. After 15 seconds or so, it completely shut down. I was both worried and pissed off, so I waited about half an hour and then went to turn it back on. Although I may have expected my entire hard drive to be corrupted, it wasn't. One thing did happen though. On my desktop was an application called Terraria.exe. The file size for it was unbelievable. It was 24 gigabytes. I expected it to be a good game. I was damn wrong. I started up the game, created my character, made a world. You know what happens. After doing all of that, I opened up my world and I was unlucky. I spawned in a corrupted biome and it had a tiny copper short sword, broken pickaxe, and a lazy copper axe. I was gonna rage quit, but I decided it would be more of a fun challenge. I got my wood, made a house, got stone, got killed a few times by those soul eaters, and even found a floating island close to one of those mountaintops. By the time I did all of that, it was getting dark, so I headed back to my house. When I got back, I noticed that there was a huge hole in the bottom of my house. I assumed it was one of those worm things. I also noticed that the guy died, and his tombstone read, "Matt got decapitated." By what? Probably the worm again at its work. What also creeped me out is that the guy's name was Andrew, but my IRL name was Matt. I covered the hole and stayed in my house for the night. My computer kept freezing up on me as I tried to do certain things, such as destroy a shadow orb, open chest, craft iron and greater gear, etc. I thought that this version I downloaded was hacked, but I just brushed it off. It was morning again, so I decided to go kill some slime so I can make some torches. I tried to find one of those oceans that have gold chests with nice items inside them, so I did that just the next day. After about 10 minutes of traveling to the left, there was nothing. Nothing but a big gaping hole where the ocean would be. Just for shits and giggles, I jumped down in the hole. For about 30 seconds I kept falling, and then I reached the underworld. Or so I thought. But my character fell beyond that, and there was nothing but black. My game crashed for another 30 seconds of falling into complete nothingness. I booted up the game again, went back into my world, and what I found this time almost made me shut my computer off. And not by using the power button, but instead with a hammer. I was back in my house, but my character had bruises, chunks of flesh missing, and even one of his legs was gone. But he could still walk okay. He could even jump. But anyway, enough of that. As for my house, it was destroyed. The only thing left was that hole that I had patched up earlier. I decided to check the tombstone again, but this time, it said something different. And this truly shocked me. It said, in an extremely glitched up font, "We need you, Matt Tabin." That made me shit a brick right there, because that was my actual name. I had a feeling this wasn't just some sort of hack, but rather a possessed game. Since I couldn't do a lot of the stuff in the game without the game either crashing or my PC freezing up, I decided to jump down into the hole. My character fell into the pitch black again, but this time I heard a splash after about 30 seconds. I also saw a faint light coming from the side of the screen, so I went towards it. It was a black chest. I don't remember seeing that in this game before, but yet again, I just downloaded this, so I really didn't know anything about the game yet. I figured my PC would freeze for me when I tried opening it, but surprisingly it didn't. Inside were souls of flight, sight, might, and fright. From a few videos I saw on YouTube, I figured out those are the souls you got from the hard mode bosses of the game. In the lower right corner of the chest was a stone pentagram. Again, I didn't know if this was an actual object from the game, but I didn't really care. I took a look at it. The item's description read, "Carries the power of Satan." It looked like it would be used for summoning a boss. Before I did, I noticed there was one more item in the chest. It was a broken Excalibur sword. I really didn't give a damn if it was broken. I was taking it anyway. At that point, I was ready for a fight. I summoned Satan Spawn. Yep, this was the name of the monster I had summoned. The Wall of Flesh's music started playing, so I thought this was going to be a tough battle. The monster literally leaped at me from the right side of the screen. The monster looked too advanced, even for a game such as Terraria. The monster's eyes were big black holes. Its eyes were very tiny and glowing a goldish color. It was completely stripped of clothing, but the most terrifying thing about this beast was its mouth. Dear God, the fucking mouth was huge. Its teeth was green-yellow like color, and it didn't even have a tongue. I equipped my sword and darted straight at it. I swung my sword once, but it only dealt 1 to 2 damage. Its health was 9,999, so I imagine this was one tough beast, since I was using the most powerful sword on it. After hitting it a few times, it ate me. Gore and blood, very realistic, was gushing everywhere. My character was taking 90,000 damage every second. It also gave me the horrified debuff. After it was finished eating me, the usual message didn't appear on the screen saying, "You were slain." Instead, it said I got my throat ripped out by it. A few seconds later, the monster wiped off its lips, leaped at the camera, then after that, my computer shut down. I was both scared and confused at what just happened. But before I could think about what caused it to shut down like that, I realized my computer's tower was on fire. I threw it out the window, and I knew that I had enough for the night, so I got ready for bed. A few minutes later, I heard a very loud roar, almost making me fall out of bed. It was the exact same roar from Terraria when you summon a boss. At the end of my bed was that monster, staring right at me. I wanted to whisper, "Dear fuck," to myself, but before I could finish, it jumped onto my chest and cut open my throat and ripped out my Adam's apple, then my spinal cord. The last thing I saw before my vision finally went was an old man, holding some weird staff. He also had a stone pentagram necklace. So now here I am, living my life as I once was living, now an undead demon. All I could do now was finish this. Also, the monster said he was going after another mortal to slay next, but he didn't give me the name. I just want to say that you might want to lock your doors, and maybe run before it gets you. Otherwise, it will end up like me. Also, did I tell you that this person I'm standing right next to looks rather tasty? It's also reading something, so I might be